Hey, that's fun, peeps. Television77 here today for another video about Genius Incorporated and something that has went wrong in one of their stories. The first episode in this series was about the issue with Isla and My Mermaid Girlfriend and the premium choices. And this episode is going to be about one of their first generation games called Summer of Memories, which I highly doubt most of you have played as it is no longer on the App Store. I got it from downloading an APK that I could only find in a server that I'm in. But the game is really good. It's an amazing game. But there's one major flaw. I still put it in S tier despite that flaw. But that one huge, massive flaw in the story comes in, I believe, chapter 16. Or, well, sorry. I shouldn't say it comes in chapter 16 because the problem starts at the beginning of the story. Some of the characters aren't really likable. But that can be forgiven if they develop throughout the story, right? And at least if the characters that are likable aren't made unlikable, it should be fine, right? Well, that is where part of the problem comes. A lot of the characters in Summer of Memories are really just not enjoyable in the slightest. The first character that really comes to mind is the mother. The mother of the main character in Summer of Memories is very pushy and snobby, which is not something you want to be seeing from a mother character. Yes, strictness is a good trait, but it doesn't come off as strict. It comes off much more as rude. And that is not a way that will... that is not something that will paint mothers in a good light for those who, those who don't live with their mothers anymore and don't remember the experience, really. And for a lot of people, it just doesn't paint women as a whole in a good light, because it makes them think that all women are like that, because a lot of people are closed-minded and will believe the first thing they see about any group of people, which is why we see sexism happen, racism, homophobia, homophobia, transphobia, things like that. But, yeah, back to the main issue with the mother. Like I said, she comes off much more so as a rude than strict. And that, it gets to really unlikable levels. Like in one episode, she, out of nowhere, signs you up for a job at an ice cream parlor, which you have no experience in, keep in mind. And also keep in mind, at the same time, she did not tell you about it before. I mean, she was going to force you to either way, so why not just tell the MC about him being forced to go to work before forcing him to go to work? It's absolutely ridiculous. He should at least get a warning ahead of time. The mother overall is just a really unlikable character, but the strong suit is with a character that I don't think I will mention much in this video, which is my favorite character from the story and one of my favorite Genius girls, being Kate. But the next really annoying character, I will give a slide, because he's only there for, I believe, 1.5 chapters. That being Paul. Wait, no, not Paul. I don't remember his name. Oh yeah, Alex, I believe. Alex, the main character's cousin. Now, the main character's gay cousin, yes, he's gay. I don't have a problem with that. The main character's gay cousin, he's really snobbish. That is what makes him unlikable. He's constantly throwing insults at the MC. He's constantly just being arrogant and getting away with whatever he wants to, just because the girls like his looks, and they don't find out unless you make a premium choice to tell Lucy that he's gay. They never find out that he is gay. But the problem comes with the snobbishness. It's not what the other characters know about him. It's how Alex acts throughout the 2 chapters that he's in. He's absolutely arrogant, completely snobby, just a complete douchebag in every single way. A really, really dislikable character that just makes you want to delete the game. Then, now we get on to... actually, no, I forgot one last character. Paul. I already mentioned his name before. Paul is just an absolute fucking creep. He sneaks into girls' houses. He has an extremely weird and uncanny obsession with MC's mother. And I'm saying this. Keep in mind this is me saying this. His obsession with the main character's mother might somehow be worse than my obsession with Poppy as a character. Yeah, that's how bad it is. It is really just creepy and makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't know if it makes anyone else feel uncomfortable, but God, just throughout the whole story, it's cringe and just makes me shudder every single time I think about it. Other than that, he can be a bit of a dick as well. His attitude is just constantly arrogance. And it's really, really unenjoyable. It makes you want to punch him in the face, even though he's just a fictional character. And already we have 3 characters, 2 of them play a pretty big role in the story, that are extremely unlikable. And that is not a good sign. But it gets worse. Because I still have 2 characters to talk about, and I'm going to be getting to the girls now. Haha. The first really unlikable girl, Eva. Now, at the beginning of the story, Eva is an absolute cunt in every single way. No, I'm not saying this because she's lesbian. I didn't even know until the second time I played through the game and made more premium choices. Her attitude, she's just constantly fucking bitching about everything. Everything the MC does, she's just constantly bitching about this, bitching about that. Oh, your attitude. Oh, you're a city boy. Fuck that. Seriously. Honestly, if they were going to represent a group like this, I would rather them not represent the group so they didn't paint it in such a bad light. These games are meant for people who are, well, around my age. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with them representing the LGBTQ plus community in it. That's not my problem. My problem is with how they paint these people. My problem is with how they make these characters that are part of the community. And Eva is the worst example of it, in my opinion. Now, of course, when it's only 2 characters, because I don't know any other characters that are... oh, wait. Yeah, Chris from My Ambitious Girlfriend is bisexual, but still, I mean... it really paints the community in a really negative light. Now, with Chris from My Ambitious Girlfriend, he was a really enjoyable character. He was not arrogant. He had a bit of a crush on Liz, but that wasn't his entire character. His entire character wasn't being bisexual either. His entire character was being a slightly shy, but extremely confident, trustworthy, and just helpful guy overall. That is what made him an enjoyable character, not the fact that he represented a group. And I feel like that's all they did with Eva and Alex, trying to represent a group, which really does a disservice to the community. Eva, in my opinion, is the worst of the characters in the story. And it sucks because at a part in the story, she starts to get bearable. She starts to get really enjoyable. But I'm going to get to this in a few seconds. There's one chapter that brings not only her down, but also the other character I'm about to talk about down. And the next character I'm about to talk about, Lucy. the main character's childhood crush. Now, Lucy started off as a really enjoyable character. Yeah, she could be not narcissistic. She could be a bit snarky at times, and she was pretty sarcastic at times as well. But not to the level where it comes off as just bitchy like Eva. But she really started off as a really organic and enjoyable character. But correct me if this is the incorrect chapter, but I believe it's chapter 16 when this happens. The mother of the MC invites all the girls over to his house to spend some time. And there's a thunderstorm, so they have to stay the night. Everyone ends up sleeping in the living room. And Eva ends up stealing Lucy's panties and then hiding them in the MC's bed. Now, the MC was sleeping with them the entire night. He was the one to wake up the latest, so yeah. But I guess that can make the slightest suspicion. But at the same time, just that is not enough to go on. Pretty much, Eva stole Lucy's panties as a joke, then realized she could get her chances of getting with Lucy closer because, spoiler alert, Eva has a crush on Lucy. But she thought she could make her chances better if she sabotaged the MC's chances. So she realized after the joke, oh, I could do this. So she decided to frame the MC for it, put them in his bed, and that is what started her redecline as a character, as I'm going to call it. She went up a bit. She started becoming more likable, but then it all plummeted after that chapter. And one single chapter, the one right after, she shows the slightest amount of remorse for it, but then it just completely goes away afterwards. And then don't even get me started on what this chapter did to Lucy. Holy shit. Okay. Lucy. So what did it do to her? Lucy was she was a really enjoyable character before the chapter. Definitely one of the more likable characters that Genius has made. But this chapter just completely fucked up her character. Of course, I'm not upset about the fact that she is upset that someone stole her panties. Anyone would be if someone took their underwear. No matter if it's a male who gets his underwear stolen by a female, or vice versa. It is not cool. It is not funny. No one should ever do that. But basically, what happens is, since Eva frames the MC and puts him in his bed, the MC was with them in the living room on the floor all night, keep in mind. So he probably would have woken one of them up, if not all of them, if he was going to put them in his bed. But I guess Eva doesn't wake everyone up for some reason, just because plot armor. But this chapter, it completely fucks up Lucy's character. Basically, she accuses him of stealing her panties because the really bad evidence that it was put in his bed, which anyone could have done that. So, why specifically him? Well, because he's a male. Ah, yes. Gender shaming and stereotyping that is not done in a funny way. Now, don't get me wrong. Stereotype jokes can be really funny. But you have to have a specific mindset to pull them off. And having a character accuse a male of stealing their clothing just because they're a male, that is not how to make a stereotype joke funny. One of the comedians who I watch that does this best, in my opinion, is Bert Kreischer. He is able to make stereotype jokes work because he knows how to pull them off. The writers of this story had the idea of writing a story in mind, not writing comedy. And I think that's where this little small joke falls off. Because if you're trying to write a story and you're not focused on comedy, then most jokes will fall flat. And that's what happens. But a lot of jokes will just end up ruining some characters. And that's what happened here. Lucy accuses the MC because he's a male. And after that, not the slightest bit of guilt for anything that happens. Just nothing. She's not worth anything after that, pretty much. Because she becomes a complete bitch. And no, I'm not afraid to say bitch. She's a bitch. She becomes a complete bitch. And it just stays that way. Not the slightest amount of guilt. Not the slightest change in her character. No development at all. That is what makes her a really disappointing character. Because Genius had the tools. Genius made her a likable character from the beginning. But not only did they ruin one character from that one chapter, they ruined two. They ruined both Eva and Lucy. Because Eva was starting to become likable slightly. And Lucy was already likable. But then, after this chapter, oh my fucking god, they're just unbearable in every single way. Anyways, guys, this has been Typhlosion 787, and I'm out of house. Bye.